Welcome to our exploration of the biological basis of psychopathology. In this video, we'll uncover how our biology, our genes, brain structure, and chemistry can influence mental health. Understanding these foundations is crucial for grasping why certain mental disorders develop and how they might be treated. We'll start by defining psychopathology and then journey through the intricate connections between the mind and body. By the end, you'll have a clearer picture of how biology shapes mental health and why this knowledge matters for both science and everyday life. Psychopathology refers to the scientific study of mental disorders, including their symptoms, causes, and treatments. It's a field that bridges psychology, psychiatry, and neuroscience. By examining abnormal thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, researchers aim to understand what goes wrong in the mind and body. This understanding helps professionals diagnose and treat conditions like depression, anxiety, and schizophrenia. As we move forward, keep in mind that psychopathology is not just about labels, it's about understanding the underlying mechanisms that drive mental health challenges. Genetics play a significant role in the development of many mental disorders. Our genes carry instructions that shape how our brains develop and function. Some people inherit genetic variations that increase their risk for conditions like bipolar disorder or schizophrenia. However, genetics is only part of the story. Environmental factors also matter. Studying families and twins, scientists have found that mental illnesses often run in families, but no single gene causes a disorder. Instead, it's usually a combination of many genes and life experiences. Structure and function of the brain are central to understanding psychopathology. Different regions of the brain control emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. For example, the prefrontal cortex helps regulate decision-making and impulse control, while the amygdala is involved in processing fear and anxiety. Changes or damage to these areas can contribute to mental health problems. Brain imaging technologies like MRI and PET scans allow scientists to observe these differences in people with mental disorders, providing valuable insights into their biological roots. Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that help brain cells communicate. Imbalances in neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine are linked to various mental disorders. For instance, low serotonin is often associated with depression, while dopamine dysregulation can play a role in schizophrenia. Medications that target these chemicals can help restore balance and improve symptoms. Understanding neurotransmitters is essential for developing effective treatments and for appreciating the complex chemistry behind our thoughts and emotions. Stress is a normal part of life, but chronic stress can have lasting effects on the brain and body. The body's stress response involves the release of hormones like cortisol, which prepare us to face challenges. However, when stress is constant, it can disrupt brain function and increase the risk of mental disorders such as anxiety and depression. Research shows that early life stress or trauma can even change the way the brain develops, making some people more vulnerable to psychopathology later in life. Epigenetics is the study of how environmental factors can change the way our genes work, without altering the DNA sequence itself. Experiences like stress, trauma, or even diet can switch certain genes on or off, affecting brain development and mental health. This means that while we may inherit certain genetic risks, our environment can influence whether those risks turn into actual disorders. Epigenetics helps explain why identical twins can have different mental health outcomes despite sharing the same DNA. Neurodevelopmental disorders such as autism spectrum disorder and ADHD begin early in life and are linked to differences in brain development. These conditions often affect communication, learning, and behavior. Scientists believe that a combination of genetic and environmental factors disrupts normal brain growth, leading to these challenges. Early intervention and support can make a significant difference in outcomes, highlighting the importance of understanding the biological roots of these disorders. Mood disorders, including depression and bipolar disorder, are closely linked to changes in brain chemistry and structure. For example, people with depression often have lower levels of certain neurotransmitters and may show differences in brain regions that regulate mood. Bipolar disorder involves shifts in brain activity that correspond to mood swings. By studying these biological changes, researchers can develop better treatments and help people manage their symptoms more effectively. Schizophrenia is a severe mental disorder characterized by disruptions in thought, perception, and behavior. Biological research shows that people with schizophrenia often have differences in brain structure, such as enlarged ventricles and imbalances in neurotransmitters like dopamine. Genetics also play a strong role, but environmental factors like prenatal stress or drug use can increase risk. Understanding the biological basis of schizophrenia is key to developing effective medications and support strategies. Anxiety disorders are among the most common mental health conditions, and biology plays a significant role in their development. Overactivity in brain regions like the amygdala can make people more sensitive to threats, leading to excessive worry or fear. Genetics, neurotransmitter imbalances, and life experiences all contribute to anxiety. Treatments often target these biological factors, using medication or therapy to help regulate brain activity and reduce symptoms. Hormones are chemical messengers that influence mood, energy, and behavior. Imbalances in hormones like cortisol, thyroid hormones, or sex hormones can contribute to mental health problems. For example, thyroid disorders can mimic symptoms of depression or anxiety. Hormonal changes during puberty, pregnancy, or menopause can also affect mental health. Understanding the role of hormones helps clinicians identify underlying causes and tailor treatments for better outcomes. Recent research has revealed surprising connections between the immune system and mental health. Inflammation in the body can affect brain function and has been linked to conditions like depression and schizophrenia. Some scientists believe that immune system problems during pregnancy or early life may increase the risk of developing mental disorders. This emerging field, called psychoneuroimmunology, is opening new doors for understanding and treating mental illness. Exposure to environmental toxins such as lead or pesticides can harm brain development and increase the risk of mental disorders. Children are especially vulnerable as their brains are still growing. Toxins can disrupt neurotransmitter systems, damage brain cells, and interfere with normal development. Reducing exposure to harmful substances is an important step in protecting mental health, especially in communities with high levels of pollution. Environment in the womb can have lasting effects on mental health. Factors like maternal stress, nutrition, and exposure to toxins during pregnancy can influence brain development and increase the risk of disorders later in life. For example, high levels of stress hormones or poor nutrition can disrupt the formation of key brain structures. Understanding prenatal influences helps us appreciate the importance of early intervention in maternal health for lifelong mental well-being. Experiencing trauma in childhood, such as abuse or neglect, can have profound effects on brain development. Trauma can alter the way the brain responds to stress, making individuals more vulnerable to anxiety, depression, and other disorders. These changes can persist into adulthood, affecting relationships, learning, and overall well-being. Early support and therapy can help mitigate these effects and promote resilience. Gut and brain are closely connected through a network of nerves and chemical signals. Recent studies suggest that gut health can influence mood, behavior, and even the risk of mental disorders. For example, imbalances in gut bacteria have been linked to anxiety and depression. This area of research, known as the gut-brain axis, highlights the importance of nutrition and digestive health for mental well-being. Sleep is essential for brain health and emotional regulation. Poor sleep or sleep disorders can increase the risk of developing mental health problems, including depression and anxiety. During sleep, the brain processes emotions, consolidates memories, and repairs itself. Chronic sleep deprivation disrupts these processes, making it harder to cope with stress and regulate mood. Prioritizing good sleep habits is a simple but powerful way to support mental health. Using substances like alcohol, nicotine, or drugs can have significant effects on brain chemistry and structure. Substance use can increase the risk of developing mental disorders or worsen existing conditions. For example, heavy alcohol use can damage brain cells and disrupt neurotransmitter systems, leading to mood and memory problems. Understanding the biological impact of substances is key to prevention and recovery. Nutrition plays a vital role in brain health and mental well-being. Deficiencies in key nutrients, such as omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins, or minerals, can affect brain function and increase the risk of mental disorders. A balanced diet supports neurotransmitter production, brain cell growth, and emotional stability. Research continues to uncover how specific foods and dietary patterns can protect against or contribute to mental health challenges. Regular physical activity benefits not just the body but also the brain. Exercise increases blood flow, supports the growth of new brain cells, and boosts mood-regulating chemicals like endorphins. Studies show that people who are physically active have a lower risk of depression and anxiety. Even simple activities like walking can have positive effects on mental health, making exercise a powerful tool for prevention and recovery. Humans are social creatures, and our relationships have a profound impact on mental health. Strong social connections can buffer against stress, reduce the risk of mental disorders, and promote recovery. Loneliness and social isolation, on the other hand, are linked to increased risk for depression and anxiety. Building and maintaining supportive relationships is an important part of mental well-being. Technology has changed the way we live, work, and connect with others. While it offers many benefits, excessive use of screens or social media can affect brain development and mental health, especially in young people. Research suggests that too much screen time can disrupt sleep, increase anxiety, and reduce face-to-face interactions. Finding a healthy balance is key to harnessing the positive aspects of technology while minimizing risks. Men and women can experience mental disorders differently, due in part to biological differences in hormones, brain structure, and genetics. For example, women are more likely to experience depression and anxiety, while men have higher rates of substance use disorders. Understanding these differences helps tailor prevention and treatment strategies to meet the unique needs of each individual. Culture shapes how we think, feel, and behave, but it can also influence biology. For example, cultural attitudes toward stress, diet, and social support can affect brain chemistry and mental health. Some cultures may have protective traditions or practices, while others may increase risk through stigma or unhealthy behaviors. Recognizing the interplay between culture and biology is essential for understanding and addressing mental health in diverse populations. Family history of mental illness can increase an individual's risk due to shared genetics and environment. However, it's important to remember that risk is not destiny. Many people with a family history never develop a disorder, while others without a family history may still be affected. Understanding family history can help guide prevention, early intervention, and support for those at higher risk. Twin studies are a powerful tool for understanding the role of genetics and environment in mental disorders. By comparing identical and fraternal twins, researchers can estimate how much of a disorder is due to inherited factors versus life experiences. These studies have shown that both genes and environment are important, and that their interaction shapes mental health outcomes. Twin research continues to provide valuable insights into the biological bases of psychopathology. Animal models, such as mice or rats, are used to study the biological basis of mental disorders. These models allow scientists to control genetics and environment, test new treatments, and explore brain mechanisms in ways not possible in humans. While animal research has limitations, it has led to important discoveries about neurotransmitters, brain circuits, and the effects of stress. This research forms the foundation for many advances in mental health treatment. Modern brain imaging techniques, such as MRI, PET, and CT scans, have revolutionized our understanding of mental disorders. These tools allow scientists to see inside the living brain, observe structural and functional changes, and track the effects of treatment. Imaging has revealed key differences in brain activity and connectivity in people with depression, schizophrenia, and other conditions. This technology continues to advance, offering new hope for diagnosis and treatment. Genetic testing is becoming more common in mental health care. By analyzing a person's DNA, clinicians can identify genetic risks for certain disorders and tailor treatments accordingly. However, genetic testing also raises ethical questions about privacy, stigma, and the limits of prediction. It's important to use this information responsibly, as genes are only part of the story and do not determine destiny. Medications are a cornerstone of treatment for many mental disorders. These drugs work by altering brain chemistry, often targeting neurotransmitters like serotonin or dopamine. While medications can be highly effective, they may also have side effects and do not work for everyone. Ongoing research aims to develop safer, more targeted treatments based on a deeper understanding of the biological bases of psychopathology. Psychotherapy, or talk therapy, can also bring about changes in the brain. Techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy help people rewire thought patterns and emotional responses. Brain imaging studies show that therapy can alter brain activity in ways similar to medication. Combining therapy with medication often leads to the best outcomes, highlighting the importance of addressing both biological and psychological factors. Brain stimulation therapies, such as electroconvulsive therapy (ECT) or transcranial magnetic stimulation (TMS), are used to treat severe mental disorders. These treatments use electrical or magnetic fields to influence brain activity, often when other treatments have failed. While they may sound intimidating, modern techniques are safe and can provide relief for conditions like depression or bipolar disorder. Ongoing research is refining these approaches for better outcome. Preventing mental disorders and intervening early can make a huge difference in outcomes. Strategies include promoting healthy lifestyles, reducing stress, and providing support for at-risk individuals. Early intervention can prevent symptoms from worsening and improve recovery. Understanding the biological bases of psychopathology helps identify those at risk and develop targeted prevention programs. The field of psychopathology is rapidly evolving, with new discoveries about the brain, genetics, and environment emerging every year. Advances in technology such as artificial intelligence and personalized medicine promise to revolutionize diagnosis and treatment. As we learn more about the biological bases of mental disorders, we move closer to a future where mental health care is more effective, personalized, and compassionate. As our understanding of the biological bases of psychopathology grows, so do ethical questions. Issues like genetic privacy, consent, and the potential for discrimination must be carefully considered. It's important to balance scientific progress with respect for individual rights and dignity. Ongoing dialogue among scientists, clinicians, and the public is essential for ensuring that advances benefit everyone. Integrative approaches combine biological, psychological, and social perspectives to understand and treat mental disorders. This holistic view recognizes that mental health is shaped by many factors, and that effective care often requires addressing multiple aspects of a person's life. Integrative care can include medication, therapy, lifestyle changes, and social support, tailored to each individual's needs. Personalized medicine uses information about a person's genes, environment, and lifestyle to tailor treatments for mental disorders. This approach aims to find the right treatment for the right person at the right time. Advances in genetics and technology are making personalized care more accessible, improving outcomes and reducing side effects. Personalized medicine represents the future of mental health care. Despite advances in understanding and treatment, many people still face barriers to mental health care. Stigma, lack of resources, and unequal access can prevent individuals from getting the help they need. Addressing these barriers requires public education, policy changes, and a commitment to equity in mental health services. Everyone deserves access to effective, compassionate care. Recovery from mental illness is possible, and resilience plays a key role. Resilience is the ability to adapt and bounce back from challenges. Biological factors such as brain plasticity support recovery by allowing the brain to heal and change. Supportive relationships, therapy, and healthy habits also build resilience. Focusing on strengths and recovery helps individuals lead fulfilling lives, even in the face of mental health challenges. Advocacy is crucial for advancing mental health care and research. Advocates work to raise awareness, reduce stigma, and promote policies that support individuals with mental illness. By sharing stories and pushing for change, advocates help ensure that scientific advances translate into real-world benefits. Everyone can play a role in advocating for better mental health care. Mental health is a global issue, with biological, cultural, and social factors varying across countries. Access to care, stigma, and the prevalence of certain disorders can differ widely. International collaboration and research are essential for understanding these differences and developing effective solutions. By learning from diverse perspectives, we can improve mental health care worldwide. Public policy shapes mental health care by determining funding, access, and quality of services. Effective policies can improve prevention, treatment, and research, while poor policies can create barriers. Advocating for evidence-based policies ensures that advances in understanding the biological bases of psychopathology benefit everyone. Policy change is a powerful tool for improving mental health outcomes. As we continue to unlock the mysteries of the brain and mind, there's growing hope for those affected by mental illness. Advances in research, treatment, and understanding are paving the way for better outcomes and improved quality of life. By working together, scientists, clinicians, advocates, and individuals, we can build a future where mental health is valued and supported for all. Summary: the biological bases of psychopathology reveal the complex interplay between genes, brain, environment, and experience. Understanding these foundations helps us develop better treatments, reduce stigma, and support those affected by mental illness. As science advances, so does our ability to promote mental health and well-being for everyone. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the biological roots of mental disorders.